I'm here to do UFC 313, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Very quickly before we get into it, remember, this Saturday will be the last live watch party for a little while because I'm taking a break to focus on my own boxing career, and I feel that with streaming of a Saturday night into Sunday morning, I hate that fight cards are now so late because I've got training Sunday mornings. So it's a bit difficult for me to watch a live watch party at like 5 a.m. and then have to wake up and train in like 2 hours later. So we're going to cut down the streams. There will be streams for big main cards, and now it will probably go to boxing instead of just being UFC. If a UFC fight card, if it's a main one, like a UFC 300 card, or if it's on early enough, we will do a live watch party for it. But right now, let's get right into today's video. This one being King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. Ruffy is 11-1. His country is Brazil. He stands at 5 foot 11 inches tall. He weighed at 164 pounds 40 in his last win, has a reach of 75 inches and a leg reach of 41 inches. While King Green, Bobby Green, is 32, 16-1. His country is United States. He stands at 5 foot 10 inches tall. He weighed at 168 pounds in his last win, has a reach of 71 inches and a leg reach of 40 inches. Going us into this one, what are the main factors here? Well, King Green already has more wins on his record, has more losses, and has a draw, has the experience. Ruffy is 1 inch taller, so King Green is 1 inch smaller, and Ruffy also has a 4 inch reach advantage with a 1 inch leg reach advantage. So it's quite a difference between the reach, but leg reach, it's fairly close. Mauricio Ruffy, if he wants to grapple, it's quite easy for him to get on the inside, force King Green back. And we saw Bobby Green's last fight where he fought Paddy Pimblett and he struggled, where Paddy submitted him. So if Mauricio Ruffy wants to grapple, I feel it's so easy for him to get on the inside, get close, to cut down that range, to get him down. And if he needs to knockout, if he's going to go for a knockout instead, it's going to be so easy for him to just keep that range out there and land them bag shots. Pause. That's not what I meant. To land the shots and take control. Let's move on to win buys to see how they've got it done in their previous fights. With King Green having a 34% KO TKO, 28% submission, 38% decision with an average fight time sitting at 11 minutes and a knockdown average of 0, while Mauricio Ruffy on the other hand had a 91% KO TKO, 0% submission, 9% decision with an average fight time sitting at 11 minutes and a knockdown average of 1. So Ruffy had the higher knockdown average. He has, yes, a little bit more time in the octagon with the average fight time, but most of his wins, nearly all of them, are coming by knockout, apart from one. But King Green, on the other hand, most of his wins are coming by decision, so it's going to be a bit hard for Bobby Green to win this fight because he's going to have to put in a lot of work, a lot of effort to win this one. I think Mauricio Ruffy wins this fight either way, but it's how does he get it done? Let's move on to one last win by stat before we continue on these stats. We are going to start with King Green here. So 11 wins are coming by knockout, 9 wins are by submission, 12 wins are by decision. He has 5 losses by KO and TKO, 3 losses by submission, and 8 losses by decision. He lost by knockout against Jalen Turner, he won against Jim Miller, and he lost against Paddy. Oh, it was only, okay, it was 3 minutes and 22. I thought it was a lot shorter than that. When I watched it, it felt a lot quicker. Tony Ferguson, but Tony Ferguson's really been on a downward spiral since then, so it sucks because you can't be like, oh, but it was a good win. Got a TKO there. Lost to Islam Makhachev. So looking at this, it's going to be a very, very difficult fight for King Green because King Green, his previous fight was a decision, and then before that it was a knockout. Now, Mauricio Ruffy has been knocked out before, but it's going to be very difficult for King Green to do that with the shorter reach. He has to force Mauricio Ruffy to have respect. He has to force him on the back foot, which could be a lot difficult for him to do, but he got submitted in his previous fight. He's been knocked out a few times. It's going to be a very difficult fight for King Green. Let's move on to Mauricio Ruffy's stats quickly. Mauricio Ruffy is currently on a 6-fight win streak, or in the UFC, he's on a 2-fight win streak. He fought James Lontop by decision and Jamie Malarkey via flying knee. And of course, he had the Contender Series win there. Now, will this be an easy win for Mauricio Ruffy? Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. I don't think it'll be an easy win for Mauricio Ruffy, but I do think he gets it done. I think he wins. I think he wins by knockout, either end of round 1, early/late into round 2. But I think King Green does very well. I think Bobby Green's going to do very well at holding his own, trying to get the win. But I think Mauricio Ruffy is just going to be a bit too much for him in the later rounds. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's move on to significant strikes to see how they performed on the feet in their previous fights. With Ruffy having an average of 5 punches landed per minute, a 59% significant strikes percentage, an average of 5 punches absorbed per minute with a defense of 60%. While King Green, on the other hand, had an average of 6 punches landed per minute, 53% significant strikes, an average of 4 punches absorbed per minute with a defense of 62%. In their previous fights, now, King Green lost by submission, Mauricio Ruffy won by decision. Ruffy has the abilities to perform and outperform King Green here because He has the highest significant strike percentage. His landing per minute is shorter, is smaller than King Green's, but I think he can still I feel like he can still output quite a bit. So it could, and he can output a lot more than his previous fight. So I think it could be a very good fight on the feet between these two. Mauricio Ruffy absorbed more, so his opponent outputted quite a bit, and he had a very high defense. Now King Green had a better defense, but he absorbed less. So Paddy wasn't really outputting as much. The key factors here are, well, all of these stats here are key factors, but the ones I like to look at is the landing per minute, because it shows how much you can land and output, and then the absorbing, because it shows how much you can absorb, and then the defense is how good your defense is compared to how many the strikes are landed. So they both have very good defense, they both can absorb a bit, and they both land high significant strike percentage, and they both have a very high landing output. So it's very good here between these two, and these stats make the fight look a lot closer, because King Green did better with the landing, did a little bit worse with the significant strikes, did a bit better with the absorbing, and did a bit better with defense. So according to the stats, King Green did better in his previous fight compared to Ruffy. But it's how do these two compare when they're going in against each other? Are they both going to outperform each other? Are they going to put this output together? Are they going to have a better output? Are they going to have a worse output? We'll have to wait and see. But let's move on to the grappling very quickly to see if it does go down, who could benefit better. I think I know who, but let's just check anyways. With King Green having an average of 1 takedown, 39% takedown accuracy, 74% takedown defense, with a submission average of 0. While Mauricio Ruffy, on the other hand, had an average of 0 takedowns, 0% takedown accuracy, 100% takedown defense, and a submission average of 0. So Mauricio Ruffy didn't attempt any takedowns, didn't get any takedowns, and he had a 100% takedown accuracy. So he defended every single one of his opponent's takedowns. His submission average is 0. But Bobby Green, on the other hand, King Green, had an average of 1 takedown, 39% takedown accuracy. So not perfect, not great. He got some takedowns, had a low takedown average, but still got takedowns. Had a low takedown accuracy, but still got some takedowns. So that's pretty good. And his takedown defense is pretty high. He also had some submission attempts, but didn't get any after being submitted to Paddy. So how do I think this fight plays out, or should play out? I think it stays on the feet. I think it is a striking match, and I think Mauricio Ruffy does get the knockout later in the fight. But I think King Green, his best bets are to submit or be very, very tactical on the feet. Go for being tactical on the feet, because Ruffy's going to try and strike, and if you can get the fight down, go for it, because you will get the submission. You have to try and go for the submission. Ruffy has no submission, so I think King Green's best bet is to either keep it on the feet but be tactical, or get it down to stay safe and try and get the submission win. And Ruffy, on the other hand, keep it on the feet, keep it striking, keep it tactical, do what you got to do to win. Advance on King Green, keep it nice and long, and get the knockout, or get a decision on the feet. But that is just my thoughts and my opinions. What do you guys think? Who do you think wins, and how do you think they win? Apart from that, I'll catch you in a bit. Take care, and peace.